The Brick Hill forums can be a very weird place. In the sky level of this iceberg, it's just a feature on the site that users use to spark conversations, advertise shirts, and maybe share their creations. But deeper in this imaginary iceberg, you'll find some weird information about the forums. Today, I'm going to discuss something that basically nobody talks about, and those are the threads under the ID of 100 that have seemingly disappeared out of nowhere. But first, let's dig a little deeper into this topic. So for the people who have no idea what I'm talking about, let me show you. If I go on the forums and try to search for a thread with an ID under 100, I'm met with an error. Error 404, page not found. Now, there are 3 different errors you're going to encounter on Brick Hill if you're surfing for threads. Not just threads under 100, but threads in general. The first and obvious one is the example I just shared, error 404, page not found. The most common way you'll get this error is if you try to search for a thread with a big number like 3 billion. The second is error 403, not authorized, which means the thread is viewable, however it's just only to moderators and administrators and not normal users like you and me. I've gathered a few threads that have been deleted for their own reasons, and you'll notice that the error I get is error 403, not authorized. The final error, oddly enough, doesn't even have its own message. In fact, it isn't really an error. If you try to click a forum post that's in an inaccessible subforum like the admin subforum, it'll just redirect you to the main forums page. Let me explain. So, have you ever posted something that isn't related to Brick Hill in the Brick Hill subforum, got banned, then noticed it was moved to off topic? Well, it's basically that. Moderators can move threads to other subforums, and that's exactly what they do for these inaccessible threads. They move it to the admin subforum. Why? Well, just watch Kong's Brick Hill iceberg video. To sum up what he said about the admin subforum entry, it's basically used to archive threads that are quote-unquote too good to be deleted. So why did I just explain every error? Well, they all have significant roles in this mystery. Anyway, let's talk about the threads themselves. First of all, it should be noted that only 2 threads from 1 to 100 are viewable, that being the very first thread and the 100th thread. The first thread being the Brick Hill rules in Brick Hill Hub, and the next being the 100th thread, which is just Optic Dog telling everybody hello. But let's try to look at the second thread. See that? It redirects us. Weirdly enough, this is the only thread out of the other 98 missing threads that redirect you to the original forums page, meaning this thread still exists, though it's in the admin forum. After a lot, and I really mean a lot of digging through old images, I couldn't find the body of the thread, only the title of the thread, and that is on this image posted by the user Though in 2017. In the image, we see a pinned thread created by Brick Luke welcoming beta testers. The only reason I can guess that this thread is in the admin subforum, but no other ones are, is for archival purposes. But what about the other threads between ID 3 and 99? Well, if we try to view them, we get an error 404, which is really weird because if they were deleted by an admin or moderator, we should be getting an error 403. So what does this mean? Well, it means these threads probably never existed in the first place. If we type a random link on Brick Hill that doesn't exist, like brick-hill.com/SirStephen is awesome, we get an error 404 because this is not a page. Threads 3 to 99 also are not pages. So what happened? Well, that's the thing nobody knows, and it's super confusing too. Even after I spent hours researching this topic, it's still super confusing and I don't really have a solid theory on it. If we look at thread ID 1, we see that it was posted on March 18th, 2017 at 6:05 p.m., the same day the alpha ended and the closed beta began. Thread 100 was posted on March 18th, 2017 at 6:47 p.m. Because of this 42-minute difference, you may be able to infer that it took 42 minutes for the first 100 threads. However, here's where it gets weird, and here's where we're going to have to really think. If we go to thread 101, we see a thread created by Leon saying first, implying he was trying to get the first thread. Luke also replies saying closer to second, implying this was the second user created thread. So wait, how is this possible? I think the 42-minute gap between the first and 100th thread was because 42 minutes before the Brick Hill beta officially opened, it was under maintenance, where only, of course, administrators had access to the site. During this downtime, an administrator, probably Space Builder or Brick Luke, created the rules thread, which has the ID of 1. Then when the beta began, the first thread was posted having the ID of 100. Hopefully you're keeping up with me here, because trust me, I am just as confused as you are. Anyway, if this theory is true, there are so many other questions that'll just have to go unanswered, such as, why start at 100? IDs 1 and 2 were used for the rules and the post-welcoming beta user, so why not just start at 3? Was it to keep it neat? Well, I've actually come up with an answer to these questions, and it is that I literally have no idea. Like, I can't think of a theory for why they started at 100, even though I kind of gave one, which was so that it could be neat. These threads did technically exist at some point, though for that we're gonna have to go back a long time, and I really mean a long time. Very technically, these threads existed at some point in 2017 during the Brick Hill Alpha. If you didn't know, all of Brick Hill's database and whatnot reset after the alpha, meaning all users, items, currency, and threads were deleted. That last part is what's important. Threads. There were user-created threads. And I found proof that these threads actually started from ID 1 instead of 100 like the beta/full release. With more heavy research, I found 4 old forum links posted by alpha users. The IDs of these threads were 9, 19, 76, and 96. Pretty weird pattern there, but anyway, these links unfortunately have no embed, so I have no idea what these threads said, but with some context I can make a pretty good guess. With context, it seems like thread 76 was a now deleted user linking a thread created by somebody with this account on screen that I can't say for obvious reasons. And thread 96 was also created by a now deleted user, and it probably contained some rather harsh words. I couldn't find any context for thread 9, though for the other threads, maybe context clues gave us the answers? But those are just links. What about images? Well, this is where information gets blurry again. I found 2 images. The first image was an image sent by Brick Luke on March 7th, 2017. It's the forums during the alpha. Hooray! But here's the problem. I have no idea if any of these threads are under the ID of 100. But here's the thing. The second image I found is actually an image of the thread with an ID of under 100. I'm gonna have to censor some of it, though here it is. The 19th thread created on Brick Hill during the alpha. This image, also taken by Brick Luke, is more proof that these threads once existed on Brick Hill. Thank you, Luke, for taking an image of Isaiah's questionable thread in 2017. Thank you. Here's something cool too. The first image was pretty vague, as we don't really know the ID of those threads. However, here's something we can do. We can look at the creation date of Isaiah's thread, February 8th, 2017. Some of the oldest threads that we see on the screenshot were also in February. There were multiple subforms, so we can't just outright say this means these threads are also under 100, but maybe they were. Maybe all of these threads were. Also, if those 4 alpha forum post links were sent on the Discord when the threads were created, then that just outright confirms that all of these threads are under the ID of 100, since all of them were posted before March 17th and 16th. But, like I said, we'll never really truly know, since this information is just extremely vague. With all of the information gathered, my final theory is that Brick Hill simply started at the ID of 100 on the current site. Threads under 100 existed, just not on the site we're on, but rather the alpha site. I still wouldn't know why, though I truly believe there were never any threads outside of the alpha stages of Brick Hill that existed from IDs 3 to 99. But if there's one thing you should remember, it's that this is all speculation and this is just a theory. Perhaps one day an image will surface from a supposed deleted thread with one of these IDs on the current site. Who knows? And with that mysterious ending, I'm gonna end this video. If you find any information on this topic, feel free to comment. Maybe I'll make an update video if we get more information in the coming months, I don't really know. But anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this video, as it took a lot of research. I want to give a shout out to LucasJ, since he created the intro/outro soundtrack for Brick Hill Unsolved. Anyway, peace out everybody.